And we should be live. I forgot to open up
Hello,
camera.
world.
Where did my Twitch thing go? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Alright, now we're recording. A backup recording of the show. Stupid Skype broke, Pamela.
Yeah.
I can't just have both of them open and then it just starts recording whenever we start talking. I think I am ready. Are you?
I am very ready.
Yes.
Okay. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of Picking Up the Pixels RPG Love. I'm your host, Boston. Going around the room, we have Musum.
Hello.
And we have the triumphant return of Mina.
Hi, guys.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Let's just dive right into it with no further ado. This is like 20 seconds in, so there's no ado at all. Musum, what have you been playing this last month?
So I've played 2 games, but in reality, I've probably only really played 1 game, and that's Pillars of Eternity.
Ooh.
Man, it is just such a great game. I'm now in Act 3 of the game, which seemed like a good breaking point. So I've been kind of taking a small breather this last week, but like there's like where do I start on it? Like the
Did
one
we
of the
talk
things.
about this last month? I don't remember. I think we did.
Probably.
Okay.
I
It's
think
been a
I don't
long
know.
month. I don't remember.
I don't know. So I guess I can reset it again. So I am a Kickstarter backer, and so
You refer to
could
my
say
notes
that would
here.
might color my opinion. That's always kind of a weird concept to me because I would think if your opinion's colored, then you're really just wanting your money not to be wasted and not being completely addicted to the game. You know?
I pulled up my notes here, and we did talk about it last month. So
Okay.
so we're good. Okay, Pills of Eternity, yay!
So, like one of the elements in this game is not too far into the game, you get your stronghold, which is
Ooh,
called Odd Nua. And your stronghold has there's a statue in it that was one of the ladies who helped make it, and before she died, she just wanted to see how it would do, so she had her soul transferred over to the statue. Which is oddly enough kind of commonplace in Pillars of Eternity, since they're all about kind of using souls as magic and transferring those around and breeding them and things like that. Um, it is very much like a stronghold is very much like a little city castle thing that you can pour money into and build like walls and build
yes. That's my kryptonite. Where it's like, oh, we have a city, cool. You can upgrade it. I'm like, oh yeah,
Yep,
oh that's the good stuff.
pretty much. Like you get there and everything's broken and run down, and then you're like, I want to do this hunting lodge, and then they
Yeah, I
remake
do.
the hunting lodge, and then there's a guy in there that gives you bounties for hard enemies, and it's pretty great.
Yes.
The other interesting aspect to it is the beneath your keep is called the Endless Paths, which is a 15-stage dungeon, which was like a Kickstarter reward, I think. I don't remember the details of that, but the neatest part about the Endless Paths, which I'm going to kind of, I guess I'll do like minor visual spoiler. It's not going to spoil any story elements, I don't think, but like when you first get to your stronghold, you're on top, and like there's like this broken down church and these like spires around the church, these giant stonehengey looking things. The neat thing is the further you go the paths, you discover that is actually the fingertips of a giant statue that is just
Ooh.
like buried underneath, and almost every level you go to kind of shows you another kind of section of the statue. So
Oh, neat.
the I guess they also have a mechanic. I was talking to my brother, and his keep kept getting attacked. And I started doing the endless paths kind of early, honestly. I just wanted to get them over with, kind of get the extra, um, get whatever extra loot and money I might get from it. And I guess what happens is the longer you wait to do the endless paths, the more likely the creatures in the paths are to come up and attack your keep.
Oh, that's cool.
Weird.
But your keep won't be attacked by creatures from levels you've cleared out.
Oh, okay.
So I'm on like level 11 out of 15. And basically the way I've been doing it is I go until... like I've been giving my priest the mechanic spell so he can... mechanic skill so he can disarm traps. So I pretty much go until he can't disarm traps, and then I just go do something else in the main world. And it's also kind of cool because they put some forethought into it in that there's what they call the master staircase, which basically lets you teleport to... Like, it's not on every level, it's on about every third level or so, but it lets you teleport straight to the top floor, so you don't have to go through, 50 waiting screens or something.
Yeah.
Let's see. Man, I really, really like this game. They have some real fascinating character classes in it. I think the two most unique ones are probably the Chanter and the Cipher. The Chanter, like, he's kind of like a bard, and I didn't actually know how to use him for a very long time. I thought he was just the worst. I didn't want to use him.
Is he like the dancer in Final Fantasy Tactics?
Oh, it's been a long, long time since I played Final Fantasy Tactics.
Oh, well, that class, if I remember correctly, was just continually dancing, and every turn your party would get whatever buff, or the enemies would get whatever debuff.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
But the thing I did not know about him is you can edit his song. So as he levels up, you can choose different songs he gets, and then choose which ones he does first or second or third or whatnot.
Oh, wow.
So he has all these automatic buffs or debuffs or whatever going on. Like, one of my favorite ones that my brother pointed out to me was there is one that enables your characters to drop ice traps everywhere they walk.
Ooh.
Which is kind of amazing because you forget about it and suddenly the enemy's being attacked by like 10 blizzards. Which is pretty great. But the other thing is they also get spells where after they have done their song X amount of time, they have like a level 1, level 2 set of spells. Like, there's a summon skeleton spell in level 1. There's a charm spell in level 2. It's pretty handy. The other class that's a little different, but maybe not as extremely different as the Chanter, I think, would be the Cipher. The Cipher, I mean, you can compare it to like a psionic mage type class. They can take over people's minds. They can take over an entire group's mind. One of the coolest powers I did, and it was hard to find a situation to use it, but when I realized the situation was upon me, I'm like, we're doing this. She basically creates a psychic feedback loop between her and another member of your party, and you basically get a giant psychic clothesline that you can just walk around and just take, knock everyone or her damage everyone with. I don't think it has knockdown stuff to it, but I don't know. It's pretty cool. And it's another funny part is one time I think the enemy mind controlled my priest. And then I had her mind control my priest to get him back because I couldn't find the dispel spell. But
those sound like two classes that I think a lot of people wouldn't try because maybe they take a little bit to get into, but once you get there, they have a good chance of totally breaking the game in your favor.
Yeah, a lot of the classes in this game are like that. Like, they put a ton of thought and effort into these.
Nice.
You get an NPC of every class except for a rogue, a barbarian, a monk, and I think that's it. I think those three are the only three you don't get.
Like your real basic classes.
Yeah, and like, because you get a fighter almost immediately, you get a mage almost immediately. You have to go to I forgot the village name, but I mean, you can probably like, okay, I've spent 40 hours in the game or so to get to Act 3, right? So probably within the first like 4 to 6 hours, you can get all of the party members except for possibly the druid in your game.
Wow.
The druid, I'm not 100% sure how to use yet. I haven't really taken the time. The character they have for the druid is immensely entertaining. Like, you can keep his opening dialogue going like a long time. He's all like, "I just killed a deer. You want some?" And you're like, "You gonna cook that first?" He's like, "And spoil the meat? How about you take a bite first?" And you're like, "No, you first." And like, it can go on for a while.
Yeah.
Starfleur, I probably said that completely wrong. Mentions in the chat, it gets tricky using spells because you can damage your own party with many of them. That is entirely true, which is why I almost never use the mage, because almost all of his spells hurt the party. Chanter has the same deal, but a lot of her spells can be focused. Like, she has a level 2 spell where you shoot someone that's a bad guy, and then it bounces to all the other bad guys, which is a cool effect. But yeah, the clothesline thing, you can damage your own party, which is why it's kind of hard to set up.
Yeah.
The character stats, I feel like I should warn, I don't know if I did this last time or not, but your character stats never increase, like your strength and dexterity and all that. I say that if you're playing an evil character, you will have opportunities to increase them, but playing a normal character, you will not. So you're going to have to create a dump stat or two if you want to get kind of your maximum stat for your class.
Okay.
And that's something I didn't do with my monk, because I thought for sure I would get one, like a point every 5 levels or something like that. I was wrong.
I was so very wrong.
I'm level 10 now. It has not happened. And because with the monk, I really wish I would have maxed out my dexterity and constitution. But I didn't. Like, the monk's main gimmick is the more damage the monk takes, the more abilities they get. I'm not, like, the game has a lot of micromanaging in it, so I tend to select a lot of passive abilities for most of my guys.
Yeah.
My fighter I spec'd out just to be like pure tank, like nothing. Like, he is always the last of my team to go down if we get party wiped. The monk, I guess I've been kind of indecisive with my main character monk, because she goes down, she gets knocked unconscious quite a bit. I was thinking of you there for a second, the other Jay-Z. Very caught it. I was trying to mind my language. Let me think. What else can I say about this game? Like, I really, 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 really like this game. I think even if you don't like this sort of RPG, I don't know if they offer a demo for it, but you should probably give it a try, because I think it's a lot friendlier entry than like a Baldur's Gate or something like that.
How many hours are you in? You're at Act 3? How long did that take you?
Yeah, about 40.
Wow, nice. So pretty meaty game for what you're getting.
According to the strategy guide, which, by the way, the strategy guide is wrong and missing tons of information.
Uh-oh.
Good.
So beware.
Maybe find some sort of wiki, Pillars of Eternity wiki.
Yeah. Well, and even then, it's like, the thing is the way the conversation system works is you gain, like, you can do, let me see, they have like 6 to 8 different types of responses you can give, but they're not consistently options. They are things like you can respond benevolent, you can respond aggressive, you can respond cruel. The more you give that response, the more those types of responses level up for your character.
Oh, neat.
You can have more than one of them leveled up. Like I am like benevolent level 5 or something like that, but I'm also honest level 3 or 4. In characters, you will gain reputation based off of this. In characters, without even you selecting an option, will be like, oh yeah, no, I heard you're an honest guy around town. If someone else had told me, I wouldn't have believed him. So, like, there are actually several situations in the book where it said I would have to deal with something, and I did not because of my reputation.
Man, that's cool.
It's pretty freaking neat. It's they put a lot of effort into it. I hope to see other game companies maybe mimic this conversation system, but at the same time, I could also see it not really working for a game that's entirely voice acted, for instance.
Right.
So I don't think, as much as I'd like to see this in like a Mass Effect or a Dragon Age, I don't think BioWare can. I think they're too attached to pure voice acting.
Yeah.
I don't know that I can say too much more about the game. Like a large portion of the story of the game is based around souls. In this game, basically, people have stopped being born with souls, and they basically pretty much quickly die after it. They have a profession called animancy, where basically what they'll do, like they're basically the magic soul science thing. And their first solution was to try and put animal souls into the bodies of the children, so hopefully they'll adapt and stuff. But what wound up happening is when they turned into like teenagers, they would turn into monsters.
Yipes. Instead of something cool like, oh, now I'm a tiger.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else to tell you about this game. You're gonna want to quick save a bunch. I know I said this about Wasteland, and they're making Wasteland now for consoles. I really don't think this is ever going to be good with a controller. I think
Seems
this is
too micromanagey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some of the inventory, I think they have streamlined enough in that your inventory is limitless, and they have a lot of mouse over, automatic compare features in it. But the problem just comes in that you have 6 characters on the screen that you constantly have to pause the game and tell them what to do if you are in a battle that you might lose.
Starfleur in chat asks, Musum, how did you feel about the auto-pausing options?
I don't think I messed with any of them, honestly. I tend to auto-pause a lot in game anyway, because I'm in Act 3, and it has not punished me for taking too long to do anything, but I'm still fearful of it.
Yeah.
But they have some options in menu, so it'll auto-pause whenever you find an enemy. Actually, that one might be selected by default. I can't remember, but yeah, I don't use any of the auto-pause stuff, I don't think.
It's nice that they have an option for it, though.
Yeah, like usually what I do is I get all my guys in stealth and just wander around the map. The other benefit to being in stealth in the game is you will notice things in the environment you otherwise normally wouldn't have, which usually just amounts to extra money or gear, but occasionally like you'll find a button to open a secret passage or something.
Ooh.
Let's see. Yeah, I feel like I should have more to say about it, because I want to sell this game to people.
Please go buy it. Musum stamp of approval.
Yeah, it's really good. It is. Right now, I don't know. We still got some big games coming out, but right now it's probably my favorite of the year.
Wow.
Probably.
I should probably buy that.
I have to go back and. Weren't you a backer?
Hey,
Yeah.
man, I don't know. I should probably go check that out.
Check.
Let's log into Steam here. It's been a long year.
Let's see. And the only other game I played was Warframe. And the only reason I played it was because they had an event. And I decided to go play the event and get the free weapon and badge and things. The event was called Operation False Prophet, where Sergeant Neff Anyo of the Grenier.
Space names.
So science
Basically.
fiction.
He has started a space religion and wants you to buy, what's the phrase he says? He says, give to the void. So you go and you buy, you give him 10,000 credits to go donate to the void, and you go find one of his Bursa machines on certain missions, and then you hack you give it to the Bursa machine, then you hack the Bursa machine, and then take out more, you get your money back and then some if you do it right.
Ooh.
So it's kind of comedic. One of my friends said it was described as the worst Warframe event yet.
So glowing praise.
I don't think I agree with that. I've played Warframe events for about a year and a half now, and I distinctly remember there being some really horrendous ones. This one, it's a little frustrating, and there were a lot more rage quitters than normal. But I lost my train of thought. Is what happened. Reading chat. The thing I kind of liked about it, which was also the negative playing with strangers, is you had to be a little bit more tactical in that you find the Bursa machine. It can be anywhere from level 15 to 99, which obviously the higher the level, the harder the mission's going to be. You don't want to use the Warframes that you would think you'd use. Like normally I go in with a Rhino because a Rhino has iron skin, which makes you impervious for X amount of damage. And usually that's a pretty safe one to choose, but that was not a good choice. I wound up going with Frost and casting a Snow Globe Shield, which it operates kind of like the Destiny Titan Shield, except that you can shoot out of it, and it slows enemies when they're inside it. So basically, to stun the Bursa first, you do like a ground attack. It's stunned. You go and you hack it, and then I would basically just spam frost shields around it because A, it would either try and run away, or B, it would kill the crap out of us. So, and the worst part is while you're hacking it, you have to stay, within 5-10 feet of the thing for the hack to continue working. It was definitely difficult, but I managed to do it in 2 evenings of I maybe spent 4 hours in the game, so it wasn't too bad. But anyway, and that is all I have to talk about.
All right. Good news. I do own Pillars of Eternity, so I was backer. Thank you for remembering. Good times. All right, Mina. What have you been playing?
Okay, so starting from the top of the things that I played from months ago, I beat Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yes.
So I went from basically being at the start of, what was that? I guess Act 2, whatever we want to think of it as.
Yeah, it's as soon as you land in Skyhold, kind of the
Yeah.
second, I want to say second half of the game, but that's kind of the long half.
But it's the meat of the game right there.
Yeah.
So I went from right there to the end, and I was immediately pulled along because of the choices I had made, which I am not going to spoil because Musa needs to beat Inquisition because man, it's just it's really hard to talk about anything because I realize I might spoil something. So for those of you who don't remember, I did start as a female elf, and I romanced his name is leaving my head right now.
Solus.
Is it Solus? Yes, I romanced Solus. And I believe you can only do that if you pick a female elf. I don't believe he will romance any other race or gender.
Yeah, I believe that's the case.
Yeah. I maintained a pretty good friendship with everyone except for Sarah, who is probably the hardest person to get along with when you're an elf. Really
Yeah.
hard. Really hard. She does not like elves, and she makes a snide comment at every passing turn. And when you have Solus, who's rather odd about, he's picky and choosy about when he likes elves and when he doesn't like elves.
Yeah.
It's really, really weird. So trying to keep both of them to be happy with each other in the same party is like, it's impossible.
Yeah.
So, Sarah pretty much, she did not last long in my group. I'm sorry, Lisa. she was ready to leave.
I've accepted I'm in the minority. It seemed like I found one other person online that really liked Sarah, and I'm all right with that.
As long as you got that one.
Yeah.
But I really did not like her. She did not mesh well with the group. I really want to talk about the ending of this game, but I can't. I really want to talk about what happened with my character, specifically when you romance Solus.
Yeah, I really want to know.
But I can't.
We'll probably, for everybody listening, we'll try and do maybe at least a short spoiler cast at some point, so we can at least talk about kind of the back half of that game.
Yeah, because a lot of choices did change a lot of things that happened in my game. And I'm really happy that this is the route I picked, because I don't think a lot of people would have gotten to experience this particular story.
Right.
That game is really, really good. I liked Dragon Age Origins. I was not one of the happiest people with Dragon Age 2. I liked it, but I didn't. There were things about it that weren't so good. Dragon Age 3, though, completely revitalized my feelings for the entire series, and I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah.
You didn't pick up the DLC, did you?
I don't think I did. I should pick that up.
Yeah.
I'm curious about it. Like, I'm afraid of it because it was such a stealth release. And it doesn't sound like BioWare did it, but I'm really curious about it.
Yeah.
I will probably invest in it because I really enjoyed Dragon Age Inquisition from start to finish. So the next game I popped in was Diablo 3, and I found out they nerfed my Demon Hunter a little bit, so I was a little sad. The Marauders, I had the full Marauders set, which had, I also had like I think it's the Bombardier's rucksack.
Yeah, I remember that. I wanted that.
Yep, where you can drop 3 sentries. Yeah. And so you can have like 4 turrets up, and they would just spam all of your abilities that you have on your bar, and you could literally just mow down everything in that game. Just drop sentry, just stand there, and just everything just explodes. Well, I guess they nerfed it now, and you have to actually fire your weapon in order to make the sentries fire. So that's a nerf because you actually have to do something now.
Yeah, that's kind of a shame.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Apparently there's another set that I need to start working on. My Marauder set is now, I guess, second best. So
As it always goes, there's now a new best.
I'm okay with that, though, because that was better than before, where Diablo 3 was kind of like wasn't very good.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word. Yeah. There wasn't sets, there wasn't a lot of stuff, so I like that they're making new sets, giving you another reason to log in and grind out more loots. It's a loot game. That's what I want. Loot.
Yeah, gotta get those loots.
So that's Diablo 3. I played Citizens of Earth as well, and I got pretty decently far in it before I realized that one of the characters that you recruit, in order to recruit her, you have to have everybody at level 20 that you've recruited already.
Oh, jeez.
And so I had already recruited like a bunch of people at that time, and I looked and I was like, in order to get this character, I'm gonna have to level up like 12 other people
That
to
would
level
take
20.
forever.
I don't have the time to do this. You know
Yeah.
what I do have the time for? Restarting this entire file over, going and recruiting this character first.
Yep, that would take way less time, actually.
Time, way less time. So I restarted my entire file all over again, and that's exactly what I did. Leveled all of the I think you have to recruit at least 3 characters. I think.
At the very beginning, I think so,
At the
yeah.
very beginning. Yeah. So I leveled all of those characters, forgoed recruiting anybody else. Like, just walked right past them and just grinded these guys off of like anything I could find until I got to
Yeah.
level 20 on all of them.
Bees in the forest.
Yep. I was
Yeah.
killing a lot of bees. A lot of bees. And then some of those recruitment things are really, really obscure and I do appreciate when that character that wanted me to recruit them all to level 20 had the joke in her to basically saying like she's like a yoga instructor or something, and she tells you like you need to find inner peace and gain the strength within you and blah 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 with everybody, and the VP goes, so you want us to basically level all of our characters up to a high level, like let's say 20. And she's like, well, I wouldn't put a number on it. And then she's like, that's exactly what I mean. And I was like, thank you. I didn't want to have to figure that out on my own.
Yeah, I don't want to have to look up a fact for that one.
So I've restarted that file. I haven't gotten back to where I was, so that's still a grind. The next game that I played was more Persona 4 Golden. Yes. The first time I played Persona 4 Golden, I intentionally got the bad end. 1, to see what the bad ending was like, and 2, so that way I could get all of the stats and start over a brand new file with all the stats and
Right.
just not have to worry about stats and just go on all the social links.
Yeah.
That's how I like doing it.
Gotta get all those S-links.
Yep, gotta max out the S links. So I've almost gotten to the part where you get Risei back.
Oh, wow. Moving along.
Yep, I'm clipping along in there.
Is that the first time you finished Persona 4 Golden? The last time?
I beat Persona 4, but Persona 4 Golden, I only got the bad end. Intentional.
Did you do anything with Marie, or Mary, whatever they call her in that one? And like her extra dungeon?
I did not, because if
Okay.
you get the bad end, you don't get to see all of that.
Oh, right. It skips like 5 months or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
It just jumps you all the way to when you leave.
I'm curious to hear what you think about her extra stuff. It was an interesting addition.
I hope it's good. I do not like Marie as a character too much.
Yeah, I won't spoil anything, but I felt like the ending of her... I like most of the characters' ending of their S-links, their rank 10, because I feel like you kind of get a conclusion, but you can still continue a relationship with that character.
Yeah.
Like, they're still around. Marie doesn't disappear or anything, but I feel like there was no real, satisfying conclusion to her S-link.
Yeah. So that's Persona 4 Golden. On my iPhone, I've been playing the Final Fantasy Record Keeper thing.
Yeah, I didn't play much this month, but I played a lot last month.
Oh, I got Eris, and I just started playing that. It seems like a good time sink.
Yeah, but without it doesn't have its hand out. Like, okay, $2 more.
Yeah,
$5
yeah,
more.
yeah. I am really glad that it doesn't feel like that, because I
Yeah.
probably would not be playing it right now.
Yeah.
I like it. I like that I got Rydia very early on. I guess they're adding like adult Rydia soon or something,
Oh, cool.
and I'm all for that.
Yeah, adult Rydia is cool.
Adult Rydia, the greatest black mage summoner there ever was in the history
That's
of
true.
Final Fantasy, with the whip that could hit the back line
Oh,
for
that's
max
right.
damage
Rydia is super cool.
with a stun. So I'm looking forward to getting Rydia. And then the last game I really want to talk about was the Etrian Odyssey Mystery Dungeon game.
I thought I was going to be the only one that had played this.
Oh my god, I love this game!
I only got through the tutorial dungeon and then a couple floors in the first dungeon, but
Okay.
I really enjoy it so far.
Okay, so you haven't had your first boss fight.
No, I think I was like 2 or 3 floors away from doing that.
Okay, cool. So the boss fight goes into a different mode than the rest of the floors, where instead of it being like the AI just doing whatever and you controlling one character, you actually have to move each character one by one and do all their actions individually.
Oh, that's super cool.
So that's a good thing too, because the final boss really, really made me sweat. So what party do you have?
Oh, I don't even know. Is my 3DS around here? No, it isn't.
Probably a medic.
I have a land knight. I know I have a medic. I have
A rune master.
I don't think I picked up a rune master. I think I picked up an archer and somebody else. I recruited one of everybody. So
It's like a dancer.
I guess we should rewind a little bit. So for anybody that doesn't know what Etrian Mystery Dungeon is, it's basically Atlas took Etrian Odyssey and then smushed it together with Mystery Dungeon, which is Mystery Dungeon is Sharon the Wanderer is a true roguelike. So it is you move a square, your enemies move a square. It is rogue basically, kind of not a roguelite like a lot of roguelike games are today, which is a nearly incomprehensible sentence now that I say it out loud. And it's kind of interesting because you're going through the Mystery Dungeon side of the game with an Etrian Odyssey party, with like the Etrian Odyssey skills and classes and their skill trees and all the same ways that they do that, but you're doing it tile by tile. So I'm kind of, it's kind of interesting. How many hours have you played, Nina? A lot.
I'm now in the second dungeon, pretty decently far in. It's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna find out that you're gonna want that rune master though.
So what does the rune master do? I don't remember.
The rune master is basically your black mage.
Ooh.
The one that casts the ice, the fire, the lightning.
Maybe I have one of those.
I would highly recommend them being in your party. I would swap out anybody for the rune master because pretty much everything seems to have some sort of elemental weakness of some sort.
Oh, nice.
And especially when you get into like the new dungeons for the first time, if you have the AI set, the AI is pretty smart and will actually smart cast whatever spell needs to be casted in terms of weakness.
Oh, wow.
And I definitely would not have made it as far as I had without that rune master, because I would walk up and I would do maybe like, I did 30 damage. Rune master comes up, 200 damage, dead.
Oh, jeez.
I'd be like, thank you.
Yeah, wow.
And the best part is, I guess this is a good and bad part, depends on how you feel. I would be walking through a tunnel, and my field of vision is maybe, I guess, 4 squares to the left and 4 squares to the right or whatever. I would see my rune master cast a spell, and you'd see the spell go off screen and hit something probably 7 panels to the left or whatever. And you'd be like, oh, good, they killed something.
Well, that went well.
That went really well, considering that I've had things basically one-shot people in my party, especially the medic in particular.
I kind of like that even at the beginning of that game, it doesn't really pull any punches. Like, The tutorial dungeon is pretty easy, but once you get done with that, the game's like, okay, so now we're going to do a dungeon for real, and traps are enabled, so good luck. And you just run in, and it is just full-on mystery dungeon.
Yep, and you can easily get whooped on that first dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
I wiped out once due to not being very smart with my potions and healing and everything else.
Yeah.
What I leave my party is I have a tank, I have the Landsknecht or whatever,
Yeah.
the fighter, the medic, and the Rune Master. So it's a pretty balanced team. I would say that if you're new and you want to get into it, that's probably the team that you would want to start out with, just because you would have your heals, you would have your DPS who can basically one-shot anything in the dungeon, and then you have a very good tank and a kind of okay tank who will also be a really good attacker. So, in case your tank goes down, or in case you actually have to tank two things at the same time, worst case scenario, something comes up behind you while you're fighting something in front of you. You don't want your backline to die.
Actually, and now that you mention that, have you ever played the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game?
Yes.
Would you recommend those as a good starter for the Mystery Dungeon series, or this? I feel like this is maybe pulls the gloves off a little early.
It does. It does. And I feel like if you don't know all the Etrian, like, kind of like the lingo, you're probably really, really lost. Like,
the game doesn't have a really great in-game kind of like, what is this thing system.
It's kind of like how Persona Q was. Like,
right.
hopefully you know Persona, because you better...
Because you're going to be casting Augie, and you don't know what that is.
What is Augie?
Yeah.
What is Fufu?
Yeah.
But, pretty much, yeah, I would say that this would be like trying to dive into Fire Emblem and not knowing what's to come.
Yeah, your first SRPG is Fire Emblem. It's like, let's play some tactics first, maybe.
Like, never return from death.
Yeah.
Main named characters.
Gone forever.
Gone. Let's see. So, I played a lot of other games, but those were the ones that I put most of my time into. So, Boston?
Hi. My wife and I have been, last month we played a bunch of the pre-sequel, and both of us are just having a real hard time getting into that game. So in the Handsome Collection, we figured, well, we really like Borderlands 2, why don't we play some of that? So we started Borderlands 2 again, and she started a Siren because she really, really likes how the Siren plays. And I usually play as Axton, and this time I started as Gage, the Necromancer. I had played as her a little bit on the 360 version. I really liked what she had, so we're playing through that now. We just finished that a mission where you rescue Roland from the dam.
Yeah.
And we are kind of motoring through that game without doing side quests, and that kind of hurt us a lot on this mission. It was a very near thing that we almost didn't finish it. So I think we're once we get back into that, we'll probably start doing some of the side quests. But man, Borderlands 2 is just still good, and it's still a lot of fun to play. And we both enjoy it so much, and we both enjoy playing it together, that it's kind of it. You know, when I talked about it on the 360, I referenced it to, it's for us as a couple, kind of like how most people just sit down on the couch and watch House of Cards. They're just gonna hang out for a couple hours and do something. And I think for us, Borderlands 2 is that thing, that experience, and it's still really great. And the Handsome Collection is really good. If you haven't played Borderlands 2 or the pre-sequel, this is kind of the version to get, because it comes with every single piece of DLC. and it runs, a solid frame rate. It's 1080p. It's on the consoles you're playing stuff on now. So I would recommend it so far. It seems really great. And then for some reason I got a loyalty bonus from Gearbox, and I got 175 golden keys out of nowhere. So I'm set for basically ever. I played more Destiny, of course. Basically play that every day because I'm weak and I love the treadmill. Not a lot to say there because they haven't added any new content yet. It's all kind of minutia stuff. It's all stuff that it's like watching people talk about Final Fantasy 14 where I'm like, yep, that sounds like important changes. So I will spare more people more talk about Destiny. But Destiny's still great. I still enjoy it. Yay, House of Wolves stuff. Woo! The last game I played this month is friend of the show, Milkstone Studios, came out with Ziggurat on the PS4 finally. And this is like... It's unfortunately kind of like a genre alphabet soup. It is a first-person RPG that is randomly generated and is a roguelike. It's basically if you take a randomly generated roguelike and you kind of take the old 90s first-person shooters, Hexen and Heretic. If you sort of smush those two together, it's this, first-person, room-by-room, randomly generated dungeon crawler where you're first-person and is pretty quick, but you're shooting around spells from a wand. So there's not a ton to talk about in the game because it very much is that see how far you can get until the enemies get too hard, you die, and then you unlock something permanent, and then you'll be a little bit stronger next time you go in the dungeon. It's out for PC, Xbox One, and PS4 right now. I don't remember if they have a demo on PC, but Giant Bomb has 2 really good videos on it. They released a quick look about it that kind of pushed me over the edge on the PS4 version. And I haven't played it too much of it because Shovel Knight came out. But what I've played so far is really fun. It runs really well. They have a lot of options I wouldn't expect, like a field of view slider, which is kind of nice because the raw game was making me kind of nauseous. I would recommend just checking out some stuff, and seeing if it's something that clicks with you with how the game plays. Because if it does, Milkstone Studios is a pretty small team, and they're pretty cool guys working on it. There's only like 4 or 5 guys working there. So game's $15, so it's a pretty good deal. But I haven't played a lot of games in general this month. It's been kind of a busy month. So that's all I've been playing. So let's take our first break.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, everybody on the live stream. I just ate before I came on here, and I'm getting like the post-lunch sleepies. Man.
I just haven't slept much this week, and my allergies are going crazy. So,
on Sunday morning, I had to go into work at 2:30 in the morning. And I was there for about 3 hours. So, like, the whole rest of my week was just shot.
Ugh. That sucks.
If anybody in chat, the other Jay-Z sent in a question for the questions segment. If anybody else has any questions, we don't have any except for the one Jay-Z sent in now. So if you have any other ones, please send them in. The other Jay-Z says, I didn't know they still made shirts like that, Boston. Easter themed? I don't know what you're... I feel like there's
it's
a
so
punchline.
colorful. I like it.
Yeah, thank you.
It's like he's out for blood today. Like he was born in it.
Yeah, man. This is usually what I dress up in at work, and I had to go outside, so I figured I'd make myself look presentable. It's too hot anyway. It's 95.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's hotter there than it is in Texas?
That's crazy. That doesn't sound right.
That doesn't sound right at all.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice in Oklahoma.
I bet.
Yep.
Time to move. All right.
Well, minus evidently the fracking that's going on.
Well, we've got that too.
That was disappointing.
Yeah.
Hi, Kai.
They need to hurry up and open up pre-orders for freaking all the Persona stuff they're supposed to be releasing.
Oh my
this year.
gosh!
Did you see the direct feed screens for Persona 5? Came
I
out the
haven't seen
other day?
anything. I haven't seen anything.
Man, that game looks good. I won't spoil anything for you, Mina, but it looks like it's running on the next version of the Catherine engine.
Oh my god!
And those screens were. I looked at the screens and I was like, man, that looks good. And then all the way at the bottom of the page, it just says, these screens are from the pre-alpha PlayStation 3 version. I'm just like, oh god. Oh god, it's gonna be so good.
So something I just read, like while you guys were talking about Diablo, evidently the Japanese version of Dancing with the Stars is going to come with a Persona 5 demo.
You mean,
Dancing with
all
the
night.
Personas.
Or
whatever.
Dancing,
all
what
night.
did I say?
Dancing with the Stars. And I was like, the television show? And then I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, hey, whatever
Yeah,
I need
I'm
to
sorry.
import, I will.
I will do it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the
didn't need to
main
know that,
character looks
Lisa.
like. I don't even know what the main character looks like, you guys. I've got so
if-
media
If
blackout.
you have gotten this far without doing that, I just go with it.
Yeah. I've only seen the
I watched
one
that first
trailer, so.
teaser. Yeah, that first teaser is the one I watched. And I'm just like, oh, I can't do it. I can't wait this long.
I haven't seen anything. The only thing I know is 5 chairs and some ball and chain, and that's
Yeah,
it.
That's all you need to know.
That's it.
Oh man.
I want emancipation.
Okay. Are you guys ready to do the second half of this show?
Sure.
Oh, my back is killing me. Must be this awesome shirt weighing me down. Turn off my video. No pictures, please. All right, let's get started in... Whoop, got another question. All right. Thank you, Starlafleur. All right, let's get started in... Want to make sure Mina's ready.
Yes, I
Okay.
am. I was just, I looked at that question and immediately
Just
started
prepping
like
for... I
thinking.
thought someone was coming in the room, and I was just like, whoop.
Nope.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk about RPG releases from May 2015. Let's talk about the thing that I'm triple dipping on. Final Fantasy X/10-2 HD Remaster comes out on the PS4 on the 12th. I'm weak.
We're really doing this again.
I'm really doing this again. So the cool thing about it is you can import your PS3 and Vita save into the PS4 version. So,
Boston, I have one question.
yes.
Will buying this make Final Fantasy 12 International version come out?
You know,
In
Mina, I'm
America?
glad you asked that question. I really hope so.
Because if the answer is yes, I will buy this.
How many copies do I need to buy? Just tell me the number and I will buy them. Oh man, I would do things for... I would buy a lot of bad Square games just to get Final Fantasy 12. I would buy whatever Saga games they have coming out and whatever Mana games they have coming out just to get 12 HD. Man, I'm weak. But coming out a couple days later is Knights of Pen and Paper 2 coming out on PC, iOS, and Android on the 14th. That first game was really good.
It was.
Yeah,
I like that. I support that.
I would recommend that, and it's probably going to be cheap. The first one was really cheap. That first game was really good. The RPG for this month that everybody seems super excited about, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, coming out on PS4, Xbox One, and PC on the 19th. So clear your calendars because that thing is long.
I'll get to it after I beat Witcher 1 and 2.
Cool.
Oh,
All right.
we'll see you
See you in
a couple of years.
2025.
I'm on Act 3 of Witcher 1, so...
See, getting there, making progress. I kind of want to buy Witcher 3, but I'm probably going to wait until reviews come out, but I don't know if I have the time to set aside for Witcher 3.
I guess here's my thing about that They've probably fixed it. I'm probably just talking about a 10-year-old problem. I hate the combat in Witcher 1.
I think they
And
removed that in Witcher 2.
but the thing is, he's still cycling through his swords and probably going through his stances, and that is going to drive me crazy in an open world game.
You might want to look at 3, because I get the impression from... I haven't watched any trailers, so I might be talking about butt here, but like, I get the impression that they've kind of retooled the entire game to fit as an open world game.
Like, in fairness, I haven't played Witcher 2. I mean, maybe the combat really is that much better. I don't like anything about the combat in 1.
I didn't
And
like
the
anything
idea
about
that
1 in general, so...
anything could be in the other games is not appealing. But
Yeah. Muse, I'm excited. There's 2 Hyperdimension Newtonia games coming out. Rebirth 2 Sisters Generation is coming out on the PC, and Neptunia U Action Unleashed is coming out for the PS Vita, both on the same day.
I like how, I feel like this is a meta thing happening with the question we were just asked a minute ago.
Yeah.
So, you're making my list for me.
Yeah, I know virtually nothing about either one of those games. I just wanted to poke fun and amuse them. All right, let's move on to news stories. For once, we have a lot of RPG news going on. This is kind of a nice problem to have. Since we were talking about Dragon Age Inquisition, us plebes, us lesser class, finally get the Jaws of Hakan DLC coming out on PS4, PS3, and 360 May 26th. So this is my chance to say that exclusive DLC sucks.
Yep.
Just in general, it sucks for Destiny. Sucks
agree.
for this. It just sucks.
I was on Tiltcast a month or 2 ago, and I probably came off pretty anti-Xbox, but my general sentiment is like, gosh, why would you buy a game that has so little content and select the platform that has even less content?
Yep.
And it's horrible.
And,
Why?
And usually for me, I don't do that because especially for games that I am interested in, I keep a pretty close eye on them pre-release. But BioWare, even after release of Inquisition, was like, no man, see, that sure would be nice though, right? See you later. And then next thing you know, they're like, hey, there's a trailer out today. There's DLC out tomorrow. And it's just like, sorry? And they're like, oh, right. And also Microsoft funded it, so it's not, we can't even talk about when it's going to come to the other platforms. It's like, guys, come on. I want to buy it. I want to play more Inquisition. I got a platinum. I got to get the rest of the trophies. I mean, and also the game is good, but, it just sucks. So frustrating. All right, next news story. There's been more details about Fire Emblem If. I think we talked a little bit about this last month. This crazy, hey, there's 2 Fire Emblem games coming out at the same time, and there's a third storyline DLC thing that's going on. There's been more info, but I don't know if it has necessarily clarified anything for me. I think the thing that they're talking about that's really interesting is they're kind of using the Smash Brothers method of kind of the for the fun and for the glory kind of way, where if you play the easier version, you get more experience, you get easier maps, you get easier things you need to do on the map, you get more money. You get a different storyline, but it's maybe, as we keep trying to recommend, maybe it's a good starter SRPG. Hopefully a good starter Fire Emblem game, because if there needs to be one at some point, because Fire Emblem can get kind of nasty. And on the other side, it's kind of the traditional Fire Emblem way, where it's a little bit harder, you get less XP, you get less gold. There are more things you need to do on the map. I think that's kind of a neat idea. Mina, you looked pretty excited when we started talking about it. Have you been following this?
No, I really want to play it.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it because I like the idea of it, and I can't wait for more news to come out about it.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what they do with it in North America, because it seems like that maybe necessarily wouldn't be a thing that they would naturally gravitate towards with releasing two versions of the same game. They continue to do with Pokemon, but I feel like that's because that's kind of the expectation for that series. But Fire Emblem seems like that. I'd be curious how that goes here in North America. So I don't know how they'll do that. Next news story: Codemasters announces a Overlord spin-off game that I liked the first two Overlord games. First one's really great. If people haven't played it, you should go play that. So they announced a spin-off game called Overlord Fellowship of Evil. Basically, they're making a Diablo-style game out of Overlords. 4-player co-op action RPG. Thankfully written by Rihanna Pratchett, who wrote the first two games. Also wrote Tomb Raider 2013. Mina has 2 thumbs up about Overlord Fellowship of Evil. I think that sounds fun.
I think it sounds fun too. I like the whole idea of it having a Diablo sort of.
So what was Overlord like Dungeon Keeper?
It's Pikmin. It's
Yeah.
like evil Pikmin.
Okay.
But it was kind of it was I think more fun than I think a lot of people were expecting in the writing and kind of the general humor. It was pretty British, but it kind of knew that it was evil Pikmin, so it kind of took the chance not to really be dirty, but kind of be subversive a lot of the time. And it was one of those games that kind of came out of nowhere and was just sort of a genuine surprise. We were like, okay, yeah, all right, that's pretty fun. I liked that. And it's probably still pretty solid. So I don't know. Great game. Next news story here. Gaijin Works has announced that they are releasing both Summon Night 5 and Class of Heroes 3 on the Vita in the US. I believe both of these are PSP games that they are sort of moving forward to work with the Vita. Oops, sorry, go ahead, Musim.
I was just I know Class of Heroes 1 and 2 came out on Vita, but Class of Heroes 3 sounds like a new entry to me. I'm looking it up.
Class of Heroes 1 came out on the PSP. Class of Heroes 2 came out on PSP and PS3. The only reason I know that is because anytime Gaijin Works or Monkey Paw comes out with a physical version, I buy it. Because they make like 25 copies of them.
Gotcha.
Class of Heroes 3 is interesting, but it sounds like one of those games. It's always sounded like one of those games where you kind of have to put in a lot of hours before you can kind of crack it open. I
just looked it up. It is a PSP. You're right.
Okay. I'm kind of interested in Summon Night 5 because I think Mina, you and I talked about Summon Night or Summon Sword something.
I think it was Summon Night. I don't remember.
I played like 1 and 2 on the GBA and really, really enjoyed those. So I'm kind of interested to see. It sounds like Summon Night 5 is a little bit different than the other ones, but not too much. So I'm kind of interested in that. They're saying that Summon Night 5 is slated for release this year, but there's no release date yet for Class of Heroes 3. But it's nice to see both of those companies still coming out with the things they do best, which is really kind of obscure and niche strategy RPGs that nobody else, not even Atlas or Xseed, will translate, and coming out with those in North America. So good on them. Water. All right, 2 more news stories. Star Ocean 5 announced and revealed. I can't tell you the last time I played a Star Ocean game, so not entirely sure what is different on this one. Is releasing for PS3 and PS4. Tri-Ace is developing it, which is really nice because they got recently bought out by a smartphone game developer. There's a really loud crow outside. I don't know what it's angry about, but please go away. So nice to see that Trius is developing again. The full title is Star Ocean: Integrity and Faithlessness. So,
What a mouthful.
Star Ocean 5. They're saying that the timeline is in between the second and the third games, set in space date year 537. So, I feel really out of my depth here because
I do too.
I feel like if this was a Final Fantasy 12 spinoff, it'd be like, yes, totally. It was when they did this, and then they went to that other place. And it was so totally sweet. Yeah, but
I've only played the first Star Ocean, so no help here.
yeah.
Which one was Till the End of Time?
Four?
Four?
The
Don't
one
know
that
any
came
of the
out on
others.
PS3 or 360?
No, that one, the Till the End of Time was on the PS2. I
That
think it
was
was the
3
last
then.
PS2 one. Okay.
Yeah.
I played that one.
I only know about that one because of the ending, where everybody always talks about it like, really?
It
What?
is so confusing.
Yeah, that thing is weird.
I need somebody to explain the ending to me
I need to hit up Wikipedia real quick.
real quick.
So looking at this, it's the third game in the series. Is Till the End of Time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I guess what I played was a remake of the first one. I forgot about that.
the PSP one.
I played that one too. I completely
Yeah.
forgot. It's the one with the blue-haired girl and the blonde human guy.
I feel like that's kind
We'll
of
go
Star
with
Ocean.
that. I know I beat it too. Is the sad part because I
Oh,
remember
geez.
actually beating it.
Yeah.
and it was
What was-
very grindtastic.
Claude, I think the name of the blonde guy,
That sounds
and
right.
Rena.
That
Rena.
sounds like a JRPG name. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they were
startled.
wearing layers, like they had
Yeah.
a shirt and then
Yeah, they had-
possibly a vest or armor on.
A
And,
lot of belts happening.
A lot of belts.
Yeah.
There's a
So-
sword involved.
Super happy to see Trius is still making JRPGs. Star Ocean has such a huge following. And I played Star Ocean 4 on the 360, and that was not a game for me.
I did not get that one. I heard bad things about that one.
Hmm I will not besmirch the good name of Star Ocean, but that game did not click with me. So, but really happy to see that's still going on here. And the last news story here is Nintendo and Level 5 announced that Yokai Watch is coming to North America. Thank goodness, because I am bizarrely curious about Level 5's basically Pokemon game that they're making. And I like Level 5 games, and this has been insanely popular in Japan. So it's nice to see it's coming out here. Coach Jamal in chat says, I wish another Dark Cloud would come out. I unfortunately is not going to because Inazuma 11 and Yokai Watch are making them surprisingly billions of dollars, and Dark Cloud did nothing. So I am so sorry. And the other Jay-Z in chat says, I'm glad there's a Yokai Watch to complete with the Apple Watch. Thank you very much. Thank you, Cleveland. All right, let's move into... We don't have any tweets or emails, so let's move into chat questions here. The other Jay-Z says, question for the questions section. Any of you play Neverwinter? Is it any good? Moonpear's been tweeting about it, and I'm this close to downloading it. I know it came out, and I know a lot of people are super, super pumped about it. I don't really know a lot about it, unfortunately.
I played a lot of Neverwinter Nights back in the day,
Yeah.
and I know they took the brand and involved no one from Neverwinter Nights and made a free-to-play MMO about it. So
Well, then.
Houston just summed up everything I was gonna say.
That's certainly a thing.
I'm a little bitter about it because I effing loved. That took some brain power to say effing. I loved Neverwinter 1 and 2. I played a massive amount of those games. Played a massive amount of the mods and modules that people made, and did a ton of multiplayer with friends. And I've heard that Neverwinter actually isn't bad and is decent, but at the same time, it's gonna be a free-to-play MMO, so there's probably going to be some trappings that you would expect from that situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I never really got into any of the Neverwinter games, and unfortunately, it just seems like that may not be the best place to start since it isn't really Neverwinter Nights 1 or 2.
I'm old and curmudgeonly about it. So for me, the answer is most assuredly yes. For anyone new who is never going to go play a game that's 10 years, 15 years old at this point, maybe it's fine. Who knows?
Yeah. Also, get off my lawn.
Yes.
The other Jizzy in chat says, Neverwinter is just a locale in D&D. There's room to make stories. I'm just apprehensive. I totally agree. It seems a little odd for older school RPG fans like us that the Neverwinter name / title carries a certain cachet with it that when you also say, free-to-play MMO, we just sort of go, ooh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, good luck. So,
I mean, it might be really good. I know I have friends of friends who are really into it, but I don't know. I mean, it's free, so the only thing you're wasting is time and bandwidth.
Yeah, however much that is valued to you is your call. And Staraflor in chat says, what are the RPGs you've started and never finished, and why? That's like half of my JRPG collection. I think the one that I'm kind of ashamed of is Nier for the 360 / PS3. I started that and played a couple hours and really, really liked it, and I just never went back to it for whatever reason.
Isn't that game like really, really short, but really, really, really good?
Short-ish, but I wanted to play through all 4 playthroughs.
That's what I remember somebody saying that it was short, but it had like multiple playthroughs. That's right.
And then at the end of the 4th one, it deletes your save, which I think is apparently it does it for a storyline reason, which is even better.
That's crazy. I like that
because I guess at that point you've seen the entire story, and the game's just like, you're done. Good luck. Nothing more. I think that's super cool.
Well, you guys made part of my list for me with the game announcements.
Oh, yeah?
I stopped playing Witcher 1 because I got burnt out after Act 2 because I did all the side quests. Like, everyone in the TVGP community told me not to.
Yeah.
Whoops. I remember that. It was our game of the
game
game club thing. Yeah. And that was like rule number 1, Musum.
I know. And I did it anyway. I don't know. I'm going to go back to it someday. And then if you listen to a podcast or 2 ago when I was playing whatever that other game that's getting a sequel now, that's JRPG crap.
I'm going to look back through my notes
Hyperdimension Neptunia. Yeah, when I played 1, like, it was fine enough until it put me in that dungeon. Like, it threw me in a dungeon when I wasn't ready. And then after I got out of the dungeon, it immediately put me in a cutscene and then a boss fight and made me lose. And so there's no save point in that.
Sin.
Yeah. So I was just like, washing my hands of this at the moment. Something that'll get me burned at the torch with you guys is the majority of the Final Fantasies I have not beaten.
I was actually just going to say Final Fantasy 2. I've never finished that because that game is real bad.
I beat clear, Final Fantasy 1.
Hey, there you go.
But the easy version on GBA.
Well, that's fine.
Up until last year, I hadn't beaten any Final Fantasies besides 13 and 13-2. Last year I beat all of them except for 2 and 12.
Oh, man.
All in 1 year. So,
hey, as long as you beat 5, I'm happy.
Hey, I did. I did. That was one of the first ones.
Speaking of 5, Final Fantasy 5 4-Job Fiesta is coming up. I think it's like a month away. Where did the year go?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I remember I had a really bad team last Fiesta, and I kind of just pitched it.
It starts next month. 28 days. Oh, God.
All right, guys.
It raised $11,000 last year. Wow.
I expect us all to join in.
Oh, I'll be live streaming.
You're looking at me when you say that.
Yep.
Oh, man.
I'm getting depressed on chat because they're mentioning all these games I wish I'd stuck with and beaten, like Resonance of Fate and Wild Arms.
Musum, this year you should live stream Final Fantasy V.
How do you live stream with the GBA?
I will We will let you know.
We will explain everything you need to know.
Yeah, we'll get you some.
For me, when I was younger, the reason why I never finished any of the JRPGs I started was because memory cards are bad, and they like to not remember your save files. And when you put about 60, 80 hours into an RPG and the file is lost, you kind of lose all hope.
You just give up. That's all you can do.
All right. Nowadays, it's more like I hit a boss or a dungeon or something that is just it just seems like I am really going to have to spend some time in here or go back and level or really invest something into, the mechanics of the game. And I look at the time I have and I'm like, I could be playing something else.
Yeah, I could be playing anything else right now.
Right. And so like I look at my shelf and there's I can think of a bunch of bosses that just like were basically the stop. I'm not going to play anymore. Was it 13 or 13-2 that had that weird platforming at the very end that made me almost rage?
Oh, that was...
It was 13-2, wasn't it?
That was 13-2. With that last dungeon where it's like, why am I doing all this platforming? Why is there a boss in the middle of this dungeon?
Like, why?
That was bad.
I almost put the game down right there. Almost.
That was real bad. I forgot about that.
Random platforming in a JRP that ticked me off. Tower of Babel, Xenogears.
That's why I never finished that game. There's another game. I couldn't finish that. I couldn't finish the very end of that game. One of the last boss battles was too hard.
Why would you put these things in there, though?
Yeah.
Like, it's not there the entire game, and then all of a sudden, platforming. And if you fall off, you have to start all over at the start.
Ugh.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
exactly
Tower of
what I
Babel.
want to deal with.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's pretty
That
bad.
sucked.
Yeah. Pretty bad. And you get to the top and get, like, a really entertaining character, too.
Yeah.
You know what game I feel really bad about? Is it the is it Lost Odyssey or is it?
Oh, man, I didn't do that one. I didn't.
Oh, that game's so
Griffin
good.
boss with the Griffin boss or something like that
The
at the very
first
start.
boss, yep.
Couldn't beat it.
Yep.
Couldn't beat it.
That game is hard.
Well, that's
That
your
boss-
big. That's the trial point. Once you get past that boss, like from what I played, the rest of it isn't too bad.
No, the rest of it is cake. Just that first
I think
boss.
I need a guide. Like I need somebody to step 1,
Yep.
do this on the first step of the boss. Step 2, have this character do this on the next boss.
Yeah, it's tough.
I couldn't. I tried like 17 different ways, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna put this game down.
I'm just
I'll
gonna
come back to
walk
it.
away.
I've got Tales of Vesperia sitting over here, and it's looking mighty fine. I'm
Yeah.
gonna pop this in, and then I never came back.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I have so many RPGs that, like littering this path behind me. These half-finished RPGs. Or I play the game all the way up until the final boss, and I burn myself out on side quests, or I'm enjoying the game so much I don't want it to end.
So I've probably spent 100 hours in Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Never beat that one.
I did finish
Skyrim.
Skyrim.
I didn't beat Skyrim.
Yeah, spoiler alert, it's not worth it.
Okay.
The ending in that game is lame.
What did I?
Get
Where did I
powers,
stop?
though.
That's true.
I think I got like as soon as I got the Fusroda, I'm pretty sure stopped the story there and did all the side quests
Yep.
around in the map.
I'm pretty sure I've done literally everything in that game except for that DLC that everyone loved. And
Oh,
by the
gee.
time I got to that DLC, I was so burnt out. It was just like, nope,
Yeah.
I am done with this.
And I
Jeez.
think I have like 500 hours in Skyrim. How have I not beaten that game?
Yeah.
What have I been doing?
You get a dragon summon shout at the end of the game, I think.
That's
Or
true.
You can summon more dragons?
You can summon a dragon for you.
What if I want to kill that dragon? Because
I mean, I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't do. It's your dragon, I mean. Yeah, anything else that big we can think of? I think there's like 100
The
games.
Kingdom
I have.
Hearts games, I never beat those.
Yeah, those are
One or
pretty good.
two.
I think I beat the first one.
That's all you really need.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've finished most of them, and that's the one you want to play.
Lunar 2, I got to the very last dungeon, and I remember there being an issue where I wasn't high enough level to beat the last boss, and I couldn't grind, and I didn't have a save point outside of that dungeon.
Just gotta tap out.
That
Yeah.
was like Grandia 3. Grandia 3 had the
Yeah.
same issue.
Yep.
Um,
Coach Jamal in chat says Breath of the Fire 4. I didn't finish 4 or 5. 5 was too tough.
Which one's the one with Katse and the whole Baba thing? Was that 3? I'm blanking on Breath of Fire's coast.
I
I think it's 3. I think it's 3.
I loved 3, and now I'm trying to. That was the one with the guy that's around with you with the tiger tail.
I think so. I
Yeah.
hope so.
3 was
I hope
good.
so. I love 3. 3's
3
my
was
favorite.
good. 4 is really good. I liked 5, and I'm the only person on the planet that does. Poor 5.
I never beat Fallout 3.
Oh, that ending was pretty.
I beat
Interesting.
3. I beat 3. I
Yeah.
feel so happy. Never beat New Vegas.
I beat New Vegas.
Weird.
New Vegas had the best, like in my opinion, it's. Granted, I haven't seen the ending of 3, so I don't actually know. But in my opinion, it's the best come together of all your decisions like mattering in a weird way in the end battle.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
I was going down the wild card path. Which ending were you ending up on, Musum?
Gosh, I don't remember. I was
It's been a while.
The house always wins.
I know I killed Caesar, I think.
Okay, so
Cesare or whatever he called himself. What were the other choices in there? There was I don't remember who I sided
you
with.
could side with Mr. House. You could side with Caesar's Legion. I think you could side with the
I think I sided with
NTR
Mr.
crew.
House.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
I sided with myself.
Haha.
Yep,
I
myself.
either decided with Mr. House or myself, and I think I went with Mr. House. I think there was
If you kill Mr. House,
okay.
then
I
you're
didn't kill
siding with
Mr.
yourself.
House.
Okay. Okay.
Fallout. All right, I think that's probably gonna be it for this episode because we could probably talk about 50 more
Yeah.
Yeah.
RPGs that are
Yeah.
lying in our wake here.
Go look at the library and
Right.
Yeah, and just
I
say,
would look
like,
it over my
all of
shoulder and be
these.
like, that game.
Yeah, pick out half of these, and I haven't finished them.
Persona 1, Persona 2.
You monster. But me too. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at pickingupthepixels.com. You can tweet us at pickinguppixels. Email us fans@pickingupthepixels.com. And Musum, where can we find you?
At home in bed asleep. Don't come over.
All right. Don't ring the doorbell.
Musum.bandcamp.com. You can buy some music from me.
And Mina, where can we find you?
Right when I'm coughing.
Sorry. It's been one of those shows, everybody.
Right? Sorry, YouTube.com, Minako Rocket.
And you can watch this show live, twitch.tv/E1M1 Network. And don't forget, you can watch the archives of this show, youtube.com/thatvideogamepodcast. Sorry, I couldn't get E1M1. It's confusing. I know. And you can find all the rest of the shows on the E1M1 Network at e1m1.com. Thank you very much, Musum and Mina, for joining me again this month.
Thank you for having me.
And
Yeah.
our adventure continues next month. Bye.
Bye.
All right, thanks everyone for watching the live stream. We will be back next month. Adios.